Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing some upcoming changes that are most likely coming to Teamfight tactics in the near future. Of course, take everything with a grain of salt, as nothing is ever truly confirmed until it reaches the patch notes. With that being said though, our sources are always Riot Direct, which ensures that things we talk about are real and have a good chance in actually making it. The first and most important thing to note is that Riot Meddler mentioned that the patches between 9.15 and 9.19 will revolve and be really prominent around balance changes. So between those patches, if nothing huge comes other than balance changes, it kind of makes sense. But after that, it's basically free reign for a bunch of new things to come. And the actual features and contents are kind of interesting. So the first one will most definitely be adding new champions to the total pool. At the current moment, there's a total of 50 champions in the game, and this is a good number. It's not bad. It's a very good starting number for all of us to get familiar with the game mechanics, such as like the auto battler and the team setups, which are already extremely different than standard League of Legends. However, I do assume that the overarching goal would be to eventually get all 144 and counting champions within League to be added into Teamfight tactics, which is kind of mind-blowing to actually think about, but it makes perfect sense since it adds a lot of new spice, flavor, meta, and gameplay into the game, and it always gives us kind of that excitement when we see our favorite champion actually perform on the battlefield in TFT, which is a huge thing about the game. The idea is that Riot will add 1 to 2 new champions every patch, or maybe every other patch, until about 60 champions, and then from there their pacing may change, but we do know for the first new 10 champions, they might come generally quickly. Of course, we're not too sure, this is just based off of information, but every patch or other patch is generally a good pace for us to consume the content and get familiarized with the new characters and the new meta. Another huge method Riot may adapt when adding new champions will actually be adding them in sets. It's definitely a lot more explosive and fast-paced. The ideology with Riot when it comes to TFT is that it thrives on discovery. When you talk about the game, watch streams, and read guides, you're kind of growing your mastery and knowledge of the entire game, and often you're doing so very quickly, so this rapid period of improvement with a bunch of new heroes, a bunch of new champions, will be very enjoyable, and the mystery of not knowing what to expect when it comes to meta changes and other tactics will be extremely exciting. Of course, Riot will add champions slowly as well, but they will shake it up once in a while when they get tired of seeing the same strategies used and go ahead and implement a huge type of set, maybe like 5 Ionians. I'm not exactly sure how they'll do it, maybe like the Yordle set where it's a bunch of Yordles. Of course, none of this is confirmed, but when they say sets, that's what at least I think. So for them to kind of swoop in and add that will really shake up things when things are feeling very stale within TFT. The goal is to always keep the experience fresh, and this is coming straight from Riot. So they want to keep the experience extremely fresh, to the point of every time you log in, you have something new to expect, which is very interesting, and it's going to be an enjoyable ride as we see how Riot kind of controls and updates TFT, since they are pouring a ton of work into this game. Another huge thing that will be coming in the future are actually themes. Now, themes, I mean kind of like how there's the arcade theme, so themes based off of skins that will alter or change the champion inside of TFT. So let me kind of explain. So the topic itself is super in-depth and complex, since there are nearly 1,000 League of Legends skins, so the possibilities are truly endless. And by simply tapping into the amount of creative and diverse themes Riot has created, it would allow them to experiment with an absolutely massive amount of variety. So the example given by Riot is actually about Yasuo, and how he appears in the first set as an exiled Blade Master casting Steel Tempest in his base skin, but a later set he could return as a Odyssey Reaver casting Wind Wall with the skin to match that theme. This is absolutely insane to think about. I mean, The idea of adding the same champion but with variation back into the pool is really crazy to think about, considering the immense combinations and possibilities as it is. However, it would add another layer of depth into the entire game, and we can definitely hold it on Riot to eventually add this mechanic into the game. However, by this logic, we could take the already massive 144 pool of League of Legends and basically multiply it by tenfolds, considering how many freaking skins are in the game. I mean, if one champion has 4 skins, then they could literally use all 4 variations of their theme to give them each one of their own abilities. So like their Q, W, E, and R could be spread between different themes. I don't know if they'll go that far, but you guys get the idea when I say the possibilities are truly endless. Anyways, moving from there, we will likely see the addition of more rewards for actually playing TFT. The idea is to simply add a longer term progression plan for the game, some way to integrate into Summoner's Rift, ARAM, TT, and TFT. So kind of they want to make it one cohesive experience, as they all offer considerably different gameplay. Something to reward for playing everything Riot has to offer is definitely an incentive to jump between the varied experiences, and I'm definitely all for this idea. If you guys do play Overwatch, it's kind of like how if you jump into the arcade once a week, you can get 3 loot boxes by winning 9 games. So I think that's kind of what they mean, which is super cool. Imagine if you have a chance to get a key fragment for playing 1 TFT game a day. I'm not sure, but it's probably something we will see later down the line, and I'll be looking forward to it. Another huge thing will most likely be new origins and traits. There's already big plans to add new content every single patch, and the biggest first goal will be new origins, which should be coming very soon. Opening up more build paths and options to get super crafty and creative with is definitely exciting. Riot wants to keep TFT fresh like we mentioned, keep it exciting and as fun as possible to play each and every time you log into the game. They want to make huge changes during one period of time, and it's currently set to be a part of the end season patch for TFT, which is supposed to be in about 3 months from now, give or take, though it's not obviously confirmed. And at the end of the season, they will release the second set, which they're hoping will kick off a whole new round of gameplay and excitement with new units, origins, and kind of just make sure they truly shake up TFT. And you might feel like I'm repeating myself, but this is coming from Riot. They've mentioned it more than once that they truly want to change TFT, that they really want to keep shaking it up. So I think for them to keep saying this is kind of like a warning sign that it's more than what we expect. It's like they're gonna flip the whole game mode on its head over and over, but anyways, we'll see what happens. And to add on to all of this, Riot plans for each TFT season to be a few months each, approximately 3 or 4 seasons in an entire year to be more exact. However, this isn't set in stone, and they could change the season pacing depending upon how they feel the flow of the content is going. With that being said, Riot is again expressing how huge and meaningful each season patch will be, which is absolutely insane. They plan on really changing things up, and they won't give us too much information about how, but they do state something very important, which is to completely 180 the meta each and every time, but not only using new batches of champions and items, but actually changing the entire system and ensuring new kind of mechanics to make sure we always feel challenged. I'm definitely excited to see what Riot does as a whole, but I don't know, they're really pouring a lot of resources into this game, and it's had a static start with some great success. Anyhow, from here we're going to branch very far off of facts, and instead I'm going to give you kind of like this bonus fact. So this last point is just a bonus, and it is 100% just my thought process, and it isn't in any way confirmed or stated by Riot. This is important to note. Don't go around spreading false rumors, it's just my opinion. So I think that eventually, maybe this year, maybe next year, but eventually, we will see a tablet and mobile version of Teamfight Tactics. The controls for TFT are so simple, the game itself and its mechanics aren't very demanding, and the port would be simply way too fluid and would be so cohesive with the mobile experience that I'm almost sure it's coming. It's actually perfect opportunity for Riot to secure themselves on the mobile platform with something that people are already genuinely enjoying. It has a huge player base and is backed by the League of Legends brand, which obviously goes a very, very long way. Anyone and everyone who is very interested in this game will very, very quickly try it simply because it's League of Legends related. Now, to be honest, it's kind of safe to even call Riot a fool if they don't take advantage of a situation like this. I would actually go as far and say that they're probably already working on a mobile version of the game, even if it's not announced yet, or even if it's a long ways away. There's no way that they're not on the drawing board trying this out. It only makes sense to me, and that would be very, very exciting to all of us, as TFT is a fun and relaxing game that can bring excitement, and a way to play it anywhere would just be genuinely amazing. The experience would be perfect, and it would be a huge step forward for Riot as a company. Of course, only time will tell, but we can all hope for it. And with that being said, this does just about wrap up the video for today. If you guys did enjoy it, then please feel free to hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe for future content. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.